Breaker Crunchers, it's Halloween in Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome to an exciting new episode of Couch Crunchers. I am your host tonight, Lance. With me as always is Sam, Tyler, and Max. Say hi, guys.
What's up?
And we put a little extra bit of effort. Well, these three guys did. I just put on a t-shirt. So we are talking about Shaun of the Dead versus Tucker and Dale versus Evil. There's a lot of verses in that title.
A lot of verses going on there.
So
really competitive movies tonight.
These are two of my favorite movies. Now, we had all seen Shaun of the Dead prior to this. Early on, right?
Yeah, I had.
Four of us.
Oh yeah, I saw it a long time ago.
I had
Go
seen
ahead.
most of it. I hadn't seen all of it.
Okay, but you watched it recently.
Yep.
For tonight, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And then both Max and Tyler hadn't seen Tucker and Dale before this week, right?
Well, I didn't even really know the plot, honestly.
I didn't
guys
knew nothing about it. For criminal murder, serial murder.
I didn't even know that. I thought it was going to be like more of a zombie movie. That's why I thought we were comparing them.
They're both horror comedies. They're two of my favorite. They're two of my favorite movies of all time.
It wasn't what I expected, and that's okay. That's fine.
So I had been asking Max specifically to watch Tucker and Dale for a couple of years now, right, Max?
No, literally the first time I had heard of the movie is when we brought up watching it for this.
Well, that shows you how much Max listens to me. Because I know I brought it up on this show several times. So I'm just an old windbag, guys.
I got selective hearing. Okay.
Yeah, it's whenever I open my mouth, he selects not to hear.
Exactly.
So these are two of my favorite movies. Shaun of the Dead I've probably seen 300 to 400 times. I watched it again for the show. Actually, I kind of went on a binge, guys. So I watched Tucker and Dale. Immediately after, watched Shaun of the Dead. Immediately after, watched Zombieland. And then today I finished Zombieland 2. And
then after the podcast, you're watching Willy Wonka, right?
Yeah,
yes.
That sounds like it fits the mold.
No, I think next up is we work in
Edward Scissorhands.
No, what's Taiki Watiki's movie?
Tidy Watitis.
What we do in the shadow.
Tidy Whitey.
What we do in the shadow. I know, dude. I am so bad.
Twilight.
With names,
You're
dude.
Watching the Twilight series.
Oh yeah, that Edward.
Tidy Whiteities.
So it kind of, Tucker and Dale got me in the mood for some of these horror comedies, and it's not a genre that's done very often, but when it's done, it always seems like they're just straight gold. So, but before we get into that, I wanted to ask you guys: is there anything you have been watching or plan to watch before Saturday that you want to talk about? In case you haven't noticed, this is a pre-recorded episode. We wanted to make sure everybody could have a fun and safe Halloween and not sit watching four fat guys talk about two old movies.
You'll notice some of us are going to talk about The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1.
I know, what a shame.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that. It's tomorrow, right?
No, it's tomorrow at like 9, I think.
Tomorrow being Friday.
Oh, tomorrow
being Friday.
Crap, it's tonight at 9? Crap, as soon as the podcast is over, I think the new episode will be out. I know what I'm doing after this.
So,
because it usually,
so for all of you...
Well, I think so, because I'm pretty sure it comes out at midnight Eastern, so I think we might be able to watch it after the podcast tonight.
So for all of you watching this show, it actually came out yesterday. So if you're finding out about it now, consider this breaking news. So...
it was
Tyler,
a great episode. Ahsoka came in with Darth Vader and his ashes, and they fought Baby Yoda and lost. It was a great episode.
It turns out Baby Yoda is the love child of Leia and Luke, and this is what happens when you have babies in incest.
With the Force.
Dark. That went real dark.
Also doesn't make sense because Baby Yoda is 50. Okay? Doesn't make sense.
Get your continuity right. Come on.
And Baby Yoda meets up with Willy Wonka, and they fight Shaun and Tucker and Dale. And I don't know, whatever. Okay,
this one way
Tyler,
off track.
I know, right? Tyler, we haven't seen you in a couple weeks. You've been busy with some other things, but I want to know, since we last saw you, is there anything new that you've seen lately that you want to get the listeners on board with?
Not really, man.
Hey! That's not true. Tyler was at Triple D Dodgeball.
Oh, but
Tyler showed
doing what
up
I was
for
watching.
Triple D Dodgeball.
I did go to Triple D Dodgeball. It was fantastic, and I'm paying for it. I am paying for it. I'm so out of shape, man.
Are you aching? Is your back killing you?
Dude, everything is killing me. And like, I rearranged my office today. Oh, I could not bend over. I can't kneel down. I'm trying to plug things into my computer, and my thighs are just killing me.
Week one.
Yeah,
I gotta tell you, Tyler, you sound so much better with a wall behind you.
Oh, really? That's good.
Yeah. Oh, your vocals have improved quite a bit.
Yeah, good. Yeah, no, I just I was driving my wife. We went to an OB appointment today. And
how's the baby?
It's doing great. Yeah, heartbeat sounds good, and yeah, it's moving along. My wife's getting excited that we're getting closer. She's done being pregnant.
All right. So you were driving along and feeling the pain, feeling the burn.
Oh, I could barely even put my hand on top of the steering wheel. Oh.
Are you feeling the BERN burn?
Yes.
No, come on. Don't get that.
Bernie Sanders, bro.
Bernie Sanders. It's either that or the herb.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely not feeling that.
It's crabs. It's crabs. And I ironically, Bernie kind of looks like a crab. So there you go. All right.
Don't forget asking for your financial support.
Oh, right. Tyler. So no,
Hang
I get it, dude. Go ahead.
Tyler, here's what you got to do. Ice, get yourself a massage chair. I'm sure you have a massage chair, right? And ibuprofen. Just cycle those every day until next Wednesday. And then you do it again. And each week it should be less. You don't need to do it as much. I only had to ice one time, and now I feel perfect.
I literally sat in the bathtub with my jets going for an hour and a half afterwards.
Yeah.
You got a jetted tub, dude?
I do. Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
So you do kind of have a massage chair.
Kind of tub.
That's nice.
Yeah, don't forget the
That's
ice,
awesome.
the ibuprofen. You'll be right as rain by next Wednesday.
Yeah, and then I don't know, man. I feel like I'm never going to not be sore again right now, but
it'll pass.
Funny.
So, Tyler, I get it, man. Your baby's doing what, December
20th, yep.
Yeah, and especially the first one. You don't have a lot of time to watch a whole lot of TV a couple months before that baby comes. So,
well, not only that,
bro.
It's I got really sick. I thought I had COVID. I got tested twice, but it came back negative. But I basically was in bed for a week and a half just sleeping. And then before that, I was having issues because I have a bad tooth and I have to go get a root canal and stuff. So I've just been down sick for the whole month. But and then I've just been watching old stuff with my wife. We're watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I'm watching Clone Wars. But yeah, excited for Mandalorian tomorrow or tonight, possibly.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was coming out tonight, so that'd probably be my after podcast.
We'll see. If it doesn't come out until midnight, I know what I'm doing at midnight, and I'm going to bed very late this evening. We'll see.
Dude, I don't know how you do that. You're going to be sitting in that room all day tomorrow. Why don't you just watch it when you wake up?
Because I'm going to be working. I want to be able to focus on it. There are some things I'll watch and work at the same time, but if I'm watching a new episode of The Mandalorian, I want to focus.
Yeah, that's way too important.
Yeah, see, I just do like little designs and stuff all day at work, like with graphics and stuff. So it's really easy for me to watch a show and pay attention to every word.
Well, even if
There's
I'm
not a
doing
whole
something
lot of.
monotonous, like even if I'm doing something monotonous and easy, I'm staring at my computer screen, not the TV. I don't mind putting on like Chuck. I've been rewatching Chuck. I don't mind putting that on while I'm working because I've seen it before. But a brand new episode of my favorite genre of like show, no.
Space Western.
Exactly, man. Well, Star Wars is really what I meant. Anything Star Wars is my favorite.
Speaking of space westerns, did you see the whole debate? There's a bunch of pissed off nerds because somebody said Mandalorian's a better space western than Firefly.
They got two words. Season 2.
Because they have a season 2. That's all it is.
Yeah, cause Star Wars.
I love Firefly, but
and nobody knew who the hell Nathan Fillion was.
He's so good.
They do now.
And NBC don't have that Disney money.
If you're listening only, Lance is trying to do some weird thing where he's counting all of his words. I didn't know you could count that high. I'm proud of you, Lance.
Oh, shots fired.
Oh, buddy.
Max has got some salt right now.
Yeah. This is what all right here. So, Maxi Pad, what have you been watching?
I deserve that. Maxi Pad, because you're red blood fury at me.
Oh, look, it's all over my shirt.
Yeah. So I just rewatched The Mandalorian season 1 to get ready. So that's been really cool. I know I say this all the time, but I really love my setup at home. The TV, the surround sound, and then my small office. It just sounds really good. So that was really fun. My wife's had a lot of homework this week, and I've been watching the baby when she does it. And so like I'll just hold him and hang out with him and watch The Mandalorian, and it's been awesome. And then I forgot to mention it when you and I were talking last week. It just spaced. But while I was on the road trip over the last couple weeks, I was listening to an audiobook. I guess I got into a second one, but I pretty much listened to a whole audiobook on the drive, and it was the third book in the Thrawn trilogy, so Thrawn Treason. And I don't know, have you gotten to that one yet, Tyler? I know you did the first two.
Yeah, I'm at the beginning of that book.
Dude.
Not very far yet.
The beginning, I think, is a little slow, but it is awesome. I think it's just as good as the first one. The first book was second book was meh. This third book is fantastic.
What's his translator's name?
Back. What was that?
What? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What was his translator? What was his translator's name?
Eli Vanto.
That's who you're saying is back.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, I really like him.
Yeah, I was disappointed he wasn't in the second book. So that's one of the things I've been up to, and it's been freaking awesome. And then I've still been enjoying my new gaming PC, and been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, doing a replay of that, getting ready for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. One of the things I like to do is like when a franchise I like has like a sequel coming out, I'll generally re-enjoy a previous entry in it. With video games, that can be hard because Assassin's Creed Valhalla is like a freaking 100-hour experience. So I don't know if I'll finish it in time. Like Star Wars, when a movie comes out, I watch every single Star Wars. Like that's just something I like to do. So
Valhalla is 100 hours?
No, it's Odyssey.
Oh, Odyssey was so long, man.
Odyssey's like 50 hours. I was exaggerating. But then I want to do the DLC, which is probably another 20. So it's a lot.
Does the DLC have like a lot of story in it, or?
Yeah, it does. It's a really good story. I did the first DLC. I didn't finish the second DLC on the Xbox before it broke.
Wow.
Meanwhile, I'm like, Last of Us was like 15 hours. It was so freaking long.
Last of Us was, oh man, I kind of want to replay that game.
Well, it's a great game, but it took forever. I played it straight for 3 days. Like, I don't think I did anything else. Yeah, it took me 3 days.
I don't think I've ever finished a game that is that long, that quickly. I don't even know how I did it. I think it was because it was before the baby. Because I stayed up until like 3 a.m. for 3 days in a row playing that game.
Meanwhile, I'm over here with Breath of the Wild, which you can beat in half an hour, but nobody takes less than 200.
Yeah, it's a long game. I don't like that game. I tried it. I didn't like it.
Is that the one where they look real funny, like real cartoony?
Yeah,
it is pretty cartoony. Yeah.
No, or is that the one? Is that the one that looks? No, they have one that looks super cartoony. That's
Wind Waker.
That's Wind Waker.
Wind Waker. So
Wind
this is the
Waker.
one after. This is the one on the Switch, right?
Yeah.
Wind Waker is
Yeah,
good. I liked Wind Waker.
I have both those games. Guess how many times I played them?
0.
Yeah, I've been meaning to play it, but
Lance loves to
have
collect
not.
video games. It's a really expensive collection that you
No.
can play.
I
It's
love
not
to
any
have
less
the-
expensive than his pops.
Hey,
I was
his
hoping-
pops
I
are
was-
going up in value. Okay.
Oh, dude, my collection's worth $8,000 now.
Oh, that's
Wow.
good news.
They've skyrocketed in value. I don't know
Pay
what's
off
going
your
on,
car,
but-
man.
right? My Rush 3-pack, you know, Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson and Neil Peart. Neil Peart died, passed away like a year ago. It's up to like $400, and I bought it for $9.
Wow.
But he died, and it just went. Boop. Yeah, but yeah. So, Sam, are you
Yeah.
watching anything?
Oh yeah, I watch tons of stuff.
Tons
on
of things.
Mostly on YouTube though. So there's this channel called Weird Explorer. I might have mentioned it before, but it's a dude who just travels around the world eating fruit and telling us what it's like. And I'm really into stuff like that. You know, it's just kind of a weird hobby this guy has, and he takes us on this little educational adventure. And for the past month, he's been showcasing the native fruits of Helsinki, Finland. And it's just weird. It's kind of quirky. It's right up my alley. Of course, I've also been deep into Triple D dodgeball, as you guys know. We had me, we had Tyler, we had Corbin from the Absolute Geek podcast, all on the same team last night. We were kicking butt and we were taking names. Tyler was also taking breaks because he was really tired after. This was his first time, and he's like, I don't think I've run this much in forever. It's funny because I thought you were doing the One Punch Man workout, man.
Oh, yeah. Until I hurt myself, and then I was like, no.
Was that day one? where
No, it was pretty close though. It was like day 3, I think. And then I've got issues because I displaced my pelvis. And so
What?
yeah,
That's some pretty rigorous sex you got going on there, man.
I know.
Yeah, and that's
You gotta
that's
tone it
that's
down
why
in
your
the
wife's
bedroom.
pregnant now. That's why your wife's
Tone it
pregnant
down
now.
to the bedroom, Tyler.
But
How do you displace a pelvis? Like mine doesn't go really anywhere.
Well, I got injured really easy because in high school I tore my hip flexor playing football, and I also tore some lower back muscles, and so that whole area was really weak, and then I just twisted wrong and
You know
popped
what?
it out.
I've got a new little name for you at Couch Crunchers. Rather than Captain Awesome, let's just call you Dr. Glass. More appropriate.
How about
Mr.
Captain
Glass.
Injury?
Mr. Glass.
So Tyler, can you pee around corners now?
Okay, so before I have something I want to do. Sam, is it okay if I quote your one of your Facebook posts about Triple D dodgeball?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, because Sam is making me laugh so much when he does his freaking posts. So the other day he posts, "Don't believe the media's lies," and I read that, and my first thought is, "Oh man, Sam's going to do something political." I know he's got opinions, but he doesn't usually post political. So don't believe the media's lies. Triple D Dodgeball League is still every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Gilbert High racquetball courts.
I had a better
I
one.
love it.
I had a better one. Let me
That
let me
was
pull
my
up.
favorite. There's another one. The I used to enjoy social media. Is that the one?
Yeah, you could do that one too, but that's not my favorite.
I got a
had
good
a
one.
really good one.
I got a good one. Trump says don't go to Triple D Dodgeball League, and then everybody
No,
will
that's
show
not
up.
true. Trump supports Triple D. All candidates support Triple D.
It's bipartisan.
So Sam says, I used to enjoy social media, but now it's just commercials. That's why we have Triple D Dodgeball League Wednesday night tonight at 8 p.m. We'll stream the whole thing ad-free.
right,
But what was he just telling me before we came on? Oh, you weren't on yet, Max. They're gonna start putting ads on their videos.
Yeah,
so that's false advertising.
Well, it wasn't for that night, but we're gonna do Couch Crunchers ads. We're gonna start putting Couch Crunchers ads on the Triple D. But here was my favorite post because it takes you a lot of different places. So it says, seeing a lot of open-minded people posting with the following formula. I've noticed X people having insert sincerely held belief opinion that I don't share. The fact that they hold that opinion is the result of mental defect or pure evil. Then I say, this is a false choice. The real answer is that neither of you has been to Triple D Dodgeball League, but you can go tonight, 8 p.m., Gilbert High Racquetball Club.
Okay, that is the best one.
And get hit by some sincerely held dodgeballs.
Oh, man.
Where's that guy who's going to review our show and say, these guys laugh all the time. They're not funny. This is a funny episode, damn it.
Well, it's pre-recorded, so nobody's laughing along with us yet.
The point is, Triple D Dodgeball is awesome. It's a friend of the show. If you guys want to have a good time with some of your favorite podcasters from around the valley, Corbin's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Tyler's going to be there if he can get his wife to drop him off. And
if the doctor lets him out of the wheelchair in enough time.
Well, next Wednesday will be the day after the election. So if you've got tears,
come get out some political.
Get out there.
Come exhaust some political capital at Triple D Dodgeball, man.
Oh, man.
I might just be like rolling around on the floor.
Here's the thing. Tyler was the only thing he lacked was stamina because he had the catching down. He had the dodging down. He had the throwing down. He was an all-star, except for he was winded the entire time.
That would have been winded 2 minutes in.
So he was Shaq?
He's basically Shaq.
Dude, you can hear me at one point because I went out from the court and I'm just like laying on the ground and I'm just like, I'm gonna die. It's like on the camera.
So I'm watching the video that you posted from earlier this week, Sam, and and I skip forward a little bit. The first thing I see is Tyler trying to bend down and grab a ball, and he drops it. And now I'm watching Tyler walk towards the camera, going, which I'm not criticizing. I'm much more out of shape than you. I would have probably passed out.
Oh man, I did almost barf a couple of times.
There was a really great showdown moment, which I've time-stamped in the comments of that video. So if you go to 31:58, there's a showdown between Tyler and I. We ended up on opposite teams after.
That's almost where I am. Nice.
31:58. So we had this really neat showdown. Tyler was coming after me with the ball, and then I jumped up in the air and did a half split.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
You did a screen? Did you do a screenshot of it?
Yeah, I did. That's not my profile pic on Facebook.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah.
Dude, Max, share your screen so we can see it.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me rewind a little bit then.
Oh, I gotta let it in, right?
Yeah, you'll have to let it in. All right, give me a second here.
Wait, we need to ask the lawyer. Sam, do we have the express written approval from Triple D Dodgeball to play this on the air?
It is
Or
blessed.
is this gonna get taken down by copyright infringement?
All right,
It is blessed.
So
I'm sharing. You gotta add it to the stream.
All right, that's me in the red shirt with the bald spot.
dude, I did.
All right, I got you. All right, cool.
Go to 31:58. If you click on that where it says view more comments, click where it says view more comments.
Do you guys see that? That is Couch Cruncher's ass right there.
There it is.
Nice.
Ooh, that was a good block right
That
there.
was a good block.
Yeah, Tyler's gonna get me out right here.
All right, but let's watch that and then we'll stop.
See, Tyler, what you got to do is you got to throw them at the same time, one high, one low, and then.
Well, I'm really tired right
He's
now.
really
so
just trying to get some air. He's stalling for time.
I have all three balls on my side, so
He's stalling for time.
Okay, the
I don't know
best
who
though.
records that. You got to record in higher quality, man. 360p. I can't see anything.
Well, dude,
Come
it's very data heavy to record in that high resolution.
Yeah, they're
Hold on.
live streaming, dude.
That's true. You're live streaming on probably
Yeah.
mobile data.
This is the best part of the dodgeball night the other night. We were playing, and it was me against 3 people. I was the only person left on my team, and I got 2 people out, and then everybody was like, "Oh, the game's over," and I was like, "What?" I was so confused. Corbin forgot that he wasn't out.
Corbin was camping in the corner like he was out, and he was, Tyler's getting ready to celebrate his victory, and then Corbin pops up. He's like, "Wait, I'm still in."
That's great.
That sounds like Corbin. Oh man, I love that dude. I love him.
Oh man,
Guys,
I
if we
should
get
go.
to
I've never met him still.
Oh yeah, Corbin's a blast, man. We got to know him really well when we stayed in Tucson. Yeah. Got to hear him chopping down a rainforest.
yeah, the guy snores for sure.
I'll take responsibility for the snoring. I'm a big snorer too.
No, it was both of you. There was one time that you're both asleep. You were both asleep in opposite rooms, and Tyler and I are sitting out there like, what the hell? Is someone murdering a buffalo? Like, what is going on here?
Oh, yeah. Well,
is this 2 buffaloes mating? What are we doing? No, just kidding. I'm blessed because I have a special machine that doesn't allow me to snore, so otherwise I'd be joining in the choir. Hey, so guys, I just finished the show yesterday because I still haven't told you guys what I've been watching. Hellstrom on Hulu. Have you guys seen it? It's Marvel.
Not yet.
Brand new show. So it was pretty good. It's very horror centric. There's some moments in it that are kind of eye rolling, but it was pretty good. It's on Hulu, 10 episodes, and I didn't talk about the next show I'm going to say, because I wanted to wait till Sam was on the show for me to name drop it, because this was a direct recommendation from Sam. I would have never given it a chance if he didn't recommend it. Travels with My Father is absolutely hysterical, and it has made me a huge fan of Jack Whitehall. I watched all 2 or 3 of his stand-up specials. Oh my gosh, dude. Max and Tyler, if you guys have not seen Travels with My Father, it has to be one of the most funny shows on Netflix. It is gold. It's
first
4
season,
seasons.
Yeah, first season's the best season. But the second season's pretty funny too. Third season's all right. Fourth season is pretty good, but the first 2 seasons are dynamite.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I watched the first maybe 2 episodes, and I did not get into it. I don't know. I didn't think it was that funny.
Oh, dude, I was rolling. I was literally belly laughing. Like, it took me a couple episodes to be like, wait, are they just stupid, or are they being serious? Like, is the dad racist? Like, what is going on here?
Oh yeah,
no,
totally.
It takes 2-3 episodes to really understand the dynamic of what's happening, and then I couldn't.
Once he buys the doll, once he buys the little baby doll, that's when it goes. That's when it really gets going. That's when the heat really starts pumping.
So Max, basically the story of Travels with My Father is Jack Whitehall, who's a moderately famous comedian. He's not overly famous, but he's moderately famous. Mm-hmm. And he's, I think in the show, at the start of the show, he's 27. Well, his father is 76 years old, and he's a famous talent agent and stuff like that from England. They're both from England. And his father's super conservative, doesn't like to travel, doesn't like to do any of those things. Well, Jack does what he calls a lads. What does he call it? Oh, dads and lads. So he calls it Dads and Lads. Is this trip they go on, and they go all over Europe, right? Or the first one is Thailand and stuff, right?
Yeah,
Sam.
Yeah, it's Southeast Asia.
He doesn't like foreign food. He doesn't really care for foreign people. He doesn't really care for anything except what's in the father in his little bubble. Meanwhile, his son is super eccentric, borderline gay. Like the verdict's still out. But it's dude, watching them fight with each other. Jack's like, "Hey, we're going to go to this one episode. We're going to go meet these cross-dressers and do a drag show with these cross-dressers." And meanwhile, this man that only wears suits, like he won't even wear shorts to the beach, they get him in a dress and he looks like the Queen of England, and they have to sing a song together, and it's absolutely hysterical.
So
it is so good, dude. One of my most favorite shows I've ever seen, and it was directly from Sam's recommendation. So thank you, Sam.
You bet.
Did you watch Christmas with My Father?
Yes.
Yeah, I laughed at that a lot too.
So
Max,
guys,
give it a chance.
I'm not saying I won't. So as you were talking, I wanted to make sure I wasn't like crazy. So I want to clarify: Mandalorian season 2 comes out at midnight. Not that this matters to anyone watching this video, because it will already be out by the time this is out. But it comes out at midnight.
Oh, it
I
does
work
not come
nights,
out
dude.
9
I'll be up
tonight?
until like 4 a.m. or 6 a.m.
Yeah, that's right, because of your schedule at work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that sucks. Sorry, bro.
Yeah.
I used to work at the Safeway bakery overnights. So I would come in at 2:00 in the morning and bake all the donuts that they would sell for that day. So like 6 hours, and then I would throw away all the old baked goods and put out the new stuff so that they would like turn over their thing. And then if I had extra time, I would go stock shelves. So it was literally like dark. There's maybe 10 of us in this entire building. You know, no music playing. It's the most creepy thing because half the lights are turned off. And it was awful.
I hate night shift. I did it for 30 days, and I was like, screw this. Quit that
When
job.
did you do it?
I did it at GoDaddy.
Oh,
I worked there for 2 months. 1 month was training. The next month was night shift. And my wife was like, I hate this. It was when we were fostering. I never got to see my foster girls. And we just hated it. So I quit. I couldn't do it.
So GoDaddy sure got their investment back on that training they did for you, huh?
Yeah. It sucks. And you know what? You know what, though? They did and they didn't, because I've purchased GoDaddy products since working there. So I got to work with marketing.
All right, well, let's get into our main topic of the night. Don't know why I'm pointing at you with an empty Diet Mountain Dew bottle, but we are talking about Shaun of the Dead and Tucker and Dale versus Evil, and we are going to compare these two classic horror comedies against each other. We're going to decide which one is better. We're going to decide who's the better friend duo, and who got it right, the Brits or the Americans, because Shaun of the Dead is a British-produced movie. Tucker and Dale is full-on American. And so all of you had seen Shaun of the Dead, right? I asked you this before. Tyler, pieces of it. He just watched it in full recently. Tyler, did you only watch pieces of it because you didn't like it? Or
No, it was like on at a friend's house, and I watched most of it, and then I had to leave. So I watched like maybe 2/3 of it before. Never saw the end.
But that 2/3 wasn't enough for you to figure out what the ending was, huh?
I never went back to it. I don't know why.
Well, for those of you who don't know, Shaun of the Dead, it stars Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. It's directed by Edgar Wright. It's one of 3 movies that they call the Cornetto trilogy, which was the point of my name. I don't know if you guys caught that.
Yeah.
Each movie references
I caught it.
Cornetto, which is an ice cream treat. So it's Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and
End of the world.
End of the world. I wanted to say versus the world, and I was like, that's not right. End of the world. But you know what I didn't realize? So I've seen Shaun of the Dead 300 to 400 times, I think, roughly, because my best friend and I used to watch it. We used to live together at ASU, and we used to watch it literally every night with new ladies that would come over. So it was a good one to get girls to grab onto you when they're scared and stuff. So, but we watched it all the
There's
time
nothing
because
scary about that movie, really.
Yeah, it's
No,
not.
I'm
The
pretty
girls
sure
are
the girls
grabbing
were
you 'cause
playing
they
an act.
wanted to.
Yeah, pretty sure the girls were playing an act and we were playing an act. But my buddy and I saw ourselves in these two characters so much. We got to the point where it was this and Anchorman. We were literally reciting every single line. But you know what? I watched it yesterday again. And you know what I didn't realize? That I just realized it yesterday? Martin Freeman's in it. Or Freeman?
Yeah, really briefly.
Yeah, and I never realized that was him.
Yeah, he
And
plays
he's
Declan, the weasel boyfriend of Yvonne.
Yeah, the counterpart of Shaun, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're playing, it's like mirror images. They have that moment.
Well,
I never realized that was him.
He's the counterpart of Liz, actually.
Oh, no, yeah, it makes sense. Sorry. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I never realized that was him until yesterday. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watched it back in like the mid 2000s, though, he wasn't really a name back then. So I don't blame you for not realizing it.
Dude, I saw it. I've probably seen it 4 times this year.
Okay, well then
And I just realized it yesterday. So I literally have probably seen it 4 or 5 times this year. Like,
you watch it.
much? I pretty much watch it once a quarter.
I like Lord of the Rings, man.
Dude, it is my favorite movie. And Simon Pegg is my favorite actor. It's not that he's a good actor. I just find him charming and charismatic, and I like watching him.
Well, I love him. He's great.
In fact, you guys are all talking about Mandalorian. You want to know what I'm really excited about?
What's up?
There's a new show coming out with Nick Frost and Simon Pegg tomorrow on Friday.
Oh, cool.
On Amazon Prime. I think it's directed by Edgar Wright.
What's it called,
If
dude?
I'm not mistaken.
That's my list.
They're paranormal truth searchers, or what's it called?
I'm adding
Yeah,
it to my
so
list on Amazon right
and
now.
it's a TV show with the two of them. So it is called. I forgot to say that. I did not know about it until today. I saw the trailer on Facebook today, and it looks absolutely hysterical. Truth Seekers.
Yep, there it is. I'm adding it to my watch list.
So it is the return of the incredible duo Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. So I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, they're like the British David Spade and
Chris Farley.
Farley, man. Except for they both lived long enough to continue.
Don't you mean they're like a British Kumail Nanjiani and Dave Bautista?
That's kind of true now. Those two are. Oh, Stuber. I get what you're doing.
This is why Tyler takes weeks off, because he doesn't have to listen to this crap. He's like, oh, I was sick with COVID and I have a bad tooth. No, he's like, I'm tired of the Stuber jokes.
I'm tired of the Stuber jokes.
You're tired of them when I'm tired of them.
Oh, my gosh.
Pretty sure it was you, Sam, who told me that you have like a 24-hour window to make the same joke and then you need to move on.
Yeah, Tyler has been on, what, maybe twice in the last 12 weeks? So. We're not even close to 24 hours.
Mr. Glass, come on.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Yeah, but that was so absurd. Like, that was a major oops moment. He gave that movie glowing reviews.
5 out of 5.
Yes, we know.
5 out of 5.
Let's redirect it back to the movies we're reviewing. So,
oh man,
Simon Pegg is wonderful, and so we're reviewing Dawn of the Dead and Tucker and Dale.
Oh, so Tucker and Dale stars. It came out a few years after that. I want to say like 2014 or something like that. 2013. So literally nearly 10 years later, Tucker and Dale came out. So they're set in not set in. They came out at different times. So you would think that they're wildly different movies, but no, they're just as clever from one another. In fact, I would stand here saying that Tucker and Dale might have not come out if it weren't for the Shaun of the Deads and the horror comedies that came before it. You were able to take more risks there. But Tucker and Dale stars Tyler Labine, who might be in my top 10 favorite actors because I love him so much. He was in shows Reaper. He's done Sons of Tucson. He's done so many different shows that were canceled way too early that I love. And Alan Tudyk, who we best know as from Firefly and the voice of
Dodgeball.
Iago.
Dodgeball.
Was he in Dodgeball?
Yes, he's the
He's
pirate.
Steve the Pirate.
It's been
Dude,
years since I've
He's
seen
in so
Dodgeball.
many things, and I love him.
I
I
remember
love Alan Tudyk.
Ben
He's
Stiller.
in Firefly. We mentioned Firefly tonight. He was in Firefly.
Oh, I
K2.
said Firefly.
He's
That's when you were saying
K2SO.
dodgeball. I was saying Firefly.
He's Mr. Nobody in Doom Patrol. He's freaking
Oh,
amazing.
yes, that's right. That's right.
He's the Joker and Harley Quinn.
So the only things
Hey.
I remember about Dodgeball the movie is the wrench line. I think everybody remembers that line. Vince Vaughn, Ben Stiller, and the hot girl that played Marcia in the
Ben Stiller's wife.
yeah, no longer wife. What's her name?
Taylor. Christine Taylor.
Yeah, that's all I remember. I do remember there was a guy in a wheelchair and a pirate, but I didn't know who played the pirate. Now I do. But so Dale
Her
and
name's
Tucker.
Kate Veach.
No, that's not right.
Oh,
Ben Stiller's
never
wife?
mind. That was her character's name.
I was like, that's not right. No. So Tucker and Dale did not come out with the same amount of fanfare that Shaun of the Dead did, because Shaun of the Dead came out and everybody was just wowed by it because of how different it was. There wasn't much that came out before it that was like it. It was really framed as this innovative take on this classic genre, right? Tucker and Dale came out and it didn't have the wide release that Shaun of the Dead did, but it's developed a huge cult following. In fact, it's one of, if you look at I was looking at lists of like the top 100 sequels that people want, and Tucker and Dale is always on those lists, and they still haven't done it, right? But it is equally as ridiculous. But what Tucker and Dale does that's different than Shaun of the Dead, which I believe is even more innovative, is they take the classic redneck horror movie and flip it around a little bit, don't they? Now, Max texted me after he saw it and said how funny it was, and I want to hear Max's thoughts on it.
Dude, I loved this movie so much. It was so freaking funny and just so enjoyable. It wasn't what I expected. You know, it's called Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I knew it was. I hadn't seen any trailers for it. I'd never really heard of it much. I'm sure you did talk about it, Lance, but I don't know. It's just a really funny movie, and I didn't know what to expect. I thought, you know, based on the title, that they were going to be fighting like demons or zombies or something. But no, it's just like this tale of these
It's just a bunch of entitled
morons.
Yeah, the college kids are morons.
Yeah, it's two redneck guys that are just nice and trying to enjoy their crappy vacation home that they're going to fix up. And then these college kids are out camping, think that these rednecks are murderers, and it just causes all sorts of nonsense. Now, the reason I think I like it so much, well, there's multiple reasons, but one reason is it really gave me off vibes similar to The Man Who Knew Too Little, which is one of my favorite Bill Murray movies ever. Love that movie so much, and I love these whole like misunderstandings and crazy things happen kind of films, and that's exactly what Tucker and Dale is. And we're good to get into spoilers, right, Lance?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, these
I know
movies have
you-
been out for a while.
Yeah. So
Uh,
like,
Shaun
one
of
of
the
my-
Dead, we're coming up on 20 years.
Yeah, it's true. Like Tucker and, which is crazy, he doesn't feel that old. Tucker and Dale, like one of the funniest moments is when they're out there with that girl, just, you know, they're digging a hole for the crapper, and Dale's, you know, cutting down trees and you know, putting all the branches through the wood chipper, and then the college kids come up and try to ambush them and end up killing themselves as a result. The one guy jumps at freaking Tucker with a knife and jumps into a wood chipper, and then you see Tucker trying to grab him and pull him out, and at the angle that the college kids can see him, it looks like he's shoving him into the freaking wood chipper. It's just freaking hilarious. It's just this whole like misunderstandings, which is like such a trope in rom-coms But in this, it's delightful. And in rom-coms, I actually like rom-coms. It can be quite infuriating. There's always these misunderstandings. But in Tucker and Dale, it's the best. And I also
they make fun of the misunderstandings.
Oh yeah, that's the whole point. And
yeah.
Tucker and Dale's great because it's like kind of like a horror rom-com as well, kind of like Shaun of the Dead is. And I loved that. Like, I'm going to say that there was one thing that I found cringy at the end, and tell me if I'm just like taking this too seriously. But at the end of the movie, the very end of the movie, Hot Blonde and Dale are getting together, which I thought was funny. Like, I don't think that Dale would ever end up with a chick like that, but hey, it's cool. I'm fine with that too. But at the end, they're kissing each other, and that other hillbilly guy is going off to talk to another girl, and he punches her in the face, which, okay, is kind of funny, I guess. But then what I didn't find as funny is that they look at this guy who's essentially dragging this unconscious woman away to rape her, and they're just like, whatever, and they keep kissing. I'm like, okay, that's a little much. You're just gonna let this guy rape this woman.
I laughed because, of course, in real life, anybody would stop that.
Yeah, it's true. That was just the only thing in the movie that I was like, oh, that's a bit much. But I think in 2011, it wouldn't have fazed me. I think now, because of the work my wife is doing in school and like what she wants to do for work, I'm a little bit more like. Anyway.
So I want to hear. So Max, what was your favorite part
of the movie? I don't know if I have a favorite part, but I just loved it the entire time. It was so much freaking fun. I know that's a word I use to describe movies I like a lot. I've noticed as I re-listen to our show, I say the word fun a lot when I describe movies. But like, that's the thing, is I enjoy watching movies. They're fun for me.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I don't think I have a favorite part. The one I pointed to with the guy jumping on the wood chipper is definitely up there, though. I thought that was really cool.
Tyler, what was your favorite part of Tucker and Dale?
You're muted.
Can't hear you. We'll go.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're good.
Yeah. So I don't know my favorite part.
Did you like the movie? I guess I should have asked you before.
Yeah, I did. I really liked it. I thought it was really funny. I was just like Max. I had no idea what I was really getting into with it, and so it was just the plot I thought was just kind of really outside the box thinking, and so it just made it really good. But
it's the two nicest guys in the world being accused of being murderers and accidentally not murder. They didn't really murder anybody, but like accidentally getting a bunch of people killed.
I think one of my favorite.
It is very bloody, though.
Yes, I think one of my favorite things is how they act about the college kids after some of them die. They're just like the part where he's like, "Oh, he must have been allergic to bees. He was running real fast." Like they're just like totally clueless as to why these like kids are freaking out and stuff.
Oh yeah, or like the first time when they grab the chick out of the water because she falls and gets passed out.
Yeah,
hey, we got your friend.
We have your friend. Yeah.
Or the other part where they carve into the piece of wood. We've got your friend.
We have your friend.
And they're just trying to be these nice, upstanding citizens.
Sam, what about you? What was your favorite part of this movie?
So I really love comeuppance. Comeuppance is probably my favorite thing in any movie genre where people are behaving poorly and they get theirs. And there was a lot of comeuppance going on in Tucker and Dale versus Evil. So every time one of the college kids made an unfair assumption about Tucker and Dale, you knew that they were about to bite it. And for me, I really like the one where the guy is coming after them and he gets hit in the head with the branch. It just knocks him, just lays him out, and he's done. I was probably the most shocked by the wood chipper kill because it's so
suicide.
Bloody. It's so freaking gruesome.
When they're pulling him out of the wood chipper is where I laugh because
I'm also laughing because they're not reacting to this, like not that much anyway. They're just pulling this like literally half bloody, gory body out, and they're just like, okay.
Well, and he's like laying on the ground, And he's like, get it off of me. And the way he pulls it off is like pulling it all the way up his body instead of like moving it to the side or something. It's like, why are you taking it that way?
Oh, all right, Sam, continue. I'm sorry, buddy.
And the college kids are so just insufferable, and you're just so satisfying to watch them all just get grisly death after grisly death. it's so fantastic. So I enjoy watching the kills. I wish that the bad the final boss, insufferable college student at the end, were a little less insufferable, because he was just horrible. He was so dumb. I don't really like the last boss, but
Yeah,
other than that, everything else was fun.
The final sequence, like fight wise, anyway, I didn't.
Yeah, in like the
reveal you
mill.
get.
It's just like, come on.
I like the reveal.
Okay,
when
well,
he's a hillbilly.
well,
Yeah.
let's talk about this. So the main kid, he hates rednecks because he thinks rednecks are what killed his family, right? Turns out that the person that killed his family was his father, and he's actually part redneck, right? And he just likes blood like his father did, essentially. So that's pretty much the ending. He captures a girl. Dale I always forget which one's Tucker and which one's Dale.
Tucker
Which
is
one?
Tucker is
the
Alan
redhead.
Tudyk.
Yeah,
Tucker
Tucker's
is
on-
Alan Tudyk. Okay, Dale goes in with his welding mask and everything to try to be intimidating to come save his potential girlfriend, the hot college girl, and that's pretty much, you get this realization of who the killer actually is and the history of that place. Shaun of the Dead, the end is they're locked in the Winchester, right? They get down to the attic. All odds seem against them. Ed's been bit, right? It's just Liz, Shaun, and Ed. And they find a way out, and the trucks come through, and of the army or whoever this was, and kill all the zombies and save the three of them, right? Then you get that special part at the end. Shaun and Liz are building their life together, sitting in the house. Shaun goes, I'm going to go outside for a break. Goes to the shed. Turns out he's got zombified Ed in the shed to play video games with. So let me ask you, whose ending was better?
I think Shaun of the Dead's ending was better.
Shaun of the
Yeah.
Dead was better ending.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the answer is Shaun of the Dead, because they held it ridiculous all the way through, right? The ridiculousness never really ended. Having a zombie pet in your backyard of your best friend to play video games with just added to the ridiculousness of everything that happened in this movie.
Well,
right?
it wasn't just that.
It
like, the
wasn't.
news
Yeah,
stories
exactly.
at
It
the
wasn't
end.
just that. Everybody had They were like, zombies became like the Pokemon of the Shaun of the Dead world.
Right, they had a pushing carts.
Friggin' game shows and pushing carts. And,
Yeah.
Like that one girl still had her like zombie boyfriend or husband or something.
Oh yeah, she was on like Jerry Springer.
Like Jerry Springer.
yeah.
Yeah. So good. I'm glad we're in agreement that that Shaun of the Dead was the better ending. Now let me ask you about the 2/3 prior to the ending. Who did it better, Shaun of the Dead or Tucker and Dale?
so are you asking which movie we like more?
Well, I want to know. So now we know which one it was ended. Who had the better? Let's ask this. Let me rephrase that question. Who had the better premise?
Oh man, both premises are amazing. They're just different.
I liked Tucker and Dale. That was my preference, honestly.
I think that one's my preference too. But the Shaun of the Dead premise is great. I think it's so funny. It's it's this guy who's just trying to take his girlfriend back to the pub. Like it's just, I don't know. I mean, there's more to it than that, obviously, but it's just a bunch of friends trying to escape a zombie apocalypse by getting to the pub, because somehow the pub's going to be safer than staying in their apartments or their homes.
Hey, they make a pretty convincing case why it's safer, right?
with the
Yeah, I
big
mean
doors and stuff.
that whole line about kill Phil and get in the car, get mom, and all that stuff. That's on
Oh.
T-shirts. You can buy T-shirts with the whole reason of
I
why.
love that sequence, by the way.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Kill Phil, get mom, do this, do that, do that.
Oh yeah, that was so
They keep
good.
changing the plan. It's great.
Yeah, Sam, what about you?
So between the two of them, I think the better premise. Yeah, I really do think Tucker and Dale versus Evil's premise is pretty unique. Is pretty interesting. I think zombie movies have been done a lot, and this kind of comedic take on it was refreshing. But at the same time, the Tucker and Dale versus Evil premise is so just kind of bonkers, and the way that they did everything was so just off the wall. I really enjoyed everything up until the final act of Tucker and Dale. I was laughing out loud and just kind of gasping a lot because of how outrageous it was. Whereas Shaun of the Dead has some really interesting setups in the first act. Like, for example, you see the couple making out outside the pub, and then Shaun and Ed walk past, and then it cuts back to the couple, and the girl who you thought was making out with a guy is actually eating his neck, and his head kind of falls off. and so there was a lot of these really like kind of subtle setups that were really fun to watch, but they didn't make you like jump out of your seat necessarily. It was just like, you better be paying attention because stuff is about to get real.
Well, and I love that scene too. But more so the part with the zombie that was like they thought was like singing with them.
Yeah. That's a T-shirt too.
That was pretty funny.
So I agree with you. Shaun of the Dead is, like I said, my favorite movie. But I do agree with you, Sam. I think Tucker and Dale have a better premise. It's more original, right? The thing that Shaun of the Dead did was, let's take a zombie movie and a romantic comedy and mix it all together. What they actually called it in the advertising was a rom-com zom, right? Romantic comedy zombie movie, rom-com zom. On my Blu-ray disc, it says rom-com zom on the thing. So they really went for this element. But there was nothing clever about the premise of it. It was a couple guys fighting zombies, trying to save their friends and their family and get to the pub. Tucker and Dale, that premise is much more clever. So why does Shaun of the Dead have a bigger fan following than Tucker and Dale?
I think it's probably because it's more relatable. It's a totally relatable movie. Also, it's a lot less bloody. I know that's kind of weird with the scene where Dave gets pulled through the window and torn to shreds.
Oh yeah,
the first time.
Yeah, that was that. Okay, those scenes though in Shaun of the Dead looked so fake though. Like they were like purpose. It seemed like it was like purposefully like really.
It was almost like George Romero did them.
Yeah.
So I grew up in a really conservative household. Didn't watch many rated R movies, and I think Shaun of the Dead was something I watched earlier on in my first when I first started watching more violent movies, and that scene made me cringe. But when I watched it this week, not at all. I was like, oh, that looks so fake. That didn't look gross at all. The first time I saw it, I seriously could not watch that scene. It grossed me out. And
the first time I saw that scene, I cheered.
Okay.
The first time I saw that scene, I cheered because I hated that guy.
Oh, he's awful.
Yeah. She's a conniving little weasel is what that guy is.
Anyway, sorry, Sam. You were making a point about that.
Gosh, what was the point I was making? Just that it's relatable because, it's in a city. A lot of people are more relatable to the city. The guy wants to get the girl, but he's kind of down on his luck, and it's not until the world is ending that he can really show his stuff. Show what he's made of. He doesn't really fit in the modern world, but when the bleep hits the fan, he's ready to go, right?
Yeah.
And Meanwhile, Tucker and Dale versus Evil, it's about misconceptions, and we all have misconceptions, but it's kind of hard to come to terms with them. Um, and the characters are lovable, but often maligned. You know, they find themselves being portrayed or vilified unfairly. And then the villains themselves are also not relatable because they're insufferable, one-dimensional, entitled
Frat kids.
The one character who's probably the most relatable in Tucker and Dale versus Evil is the girl who ends up falling for Dale. Everyone else is kind of hard to associate with. So I think that has a lot to do with it, but also just the absolute sprays of blood every 5-10 minutes in Tucker and Dale. That can kind of turn people off. That can turn audiences off pretty quick.
So you felt that you guys feel that the blood and guts in Tucker and Dale is more realistic than Shaun of the Dead? And mind you, these movies are 10 years apart.
I'm not saying more realistic. I'm saying just the fact that there's tons of blood sprays. Like at the end of the movie, Tucker is covered head to toe in blood, right? Whereas Shaun's just got some splotches here and there on his shirt.
Oh, it's a bit in the movie, right? You got red on you.
Got red on you.
Yeah. Well, here the other thing to kind of go along with that, Sam, is that I felt like Shaun of the Dead is actually more realistic than like The Walking Dead, because I feel like if there was actually a zombie apocalypse, it would just be like people getting together, like idiot people getting together with their dumb friends and doing dumb stuff and like not coming up with great solutions and just running around, jumping fences and
kids, nobody's trained.
Yeah,
right.
Like, yeah,
right. You could play any amount of Call of Duty or anything. You're still like you're gonna probably be the one of the first ones to go, right?
Yeah.
Because you live off a diet of Cheetos and Mountain Dew Code Red. So, so like that's the fact of the matter is no one's prepared. What's cool about Shaun is that he can remain most of the time completely calm through all this, right? Well, no, Ed's really the one that's super calm, but I think he's stoned most of the movie. But Shaun can think kind of clearly, even though his stepdad just died, his mom's bit, his girl left him, his friend's a stoner, he's got zombies coming after him, the car breaks, or the friend is constantly sabotaging him. What about that scene in Shaun of the Dead where Ed takes the phone call outside of the Winchester and they get in a screaming match like an old married couple and have all the zombies looking at him? Like, he's constantly being sabotaged against.
Yeah, in fact, that scene is what ultimately leads to the zombies' siege on the Winchester, because if it hadn't been for the phone going off, they would have been able to sneak inside without getting caught, and the zombies never would have followed Shaun back to the Winchester to surround the place.
Right, and the window wouldn't have been broken to the point, because so they stacked a bunch of chairs up in front of that window that got broken by the stupid nerd boyfriend. And was that the window that he gets grabbed from?
No, they break a new window to pull him out.
Oh, that's right.
I thought he went through the door.
No. He comes through the window. Yeah. No, the girlfriend goes through the door to try to save him, and that's what lets everybody else in to the pub. I think she has a leg, if I'm not mistaken. She's going out there swatting him with a leg.
Yeah,
because it was his leg.
Dave's leg.
Yeah. When she's trying to pull him out from the zombies, one of the legs comes off, and then she starts to use it as a weapon. But I gotta tell you, so in typical Edgar Wright fashion, so we've all seen Baby Driver, we've seen Scott Pilgrim, and Shaun of the Dead.
I've seen one of those, yeah.
Oh, Tyler, you disappoint me. Which one haven't you seen?
Well, I've seen one of them. It was Shaun of the Dead. That's the one I've seen.
Oh, the one we're talking about? So you haven't seen Scott? I thought we were disqualifying that one because we all knew that you see. Okay, buddy. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna tie you with a chain to my chair and make you watch like 15 hours of movies that I think should be in your brain. All right, so. I think Tyler's messing with me. Anytime I say this is my favorite movie, Tyler's like, I hadn't seen it.
No, I really have not seen Baby Driver or Scott Pilgrim.
Okay, well, in typical Edgar Wright fashion, he uses music as a form to get a scene going, or he uses music in a very interesting fashion, right? Baby Driver, it's the music for the driving. It's the only thing that keep Baby Driver concentrated on what he's doing, right?
Well, he's
Go
got
ahead.
tinnitus, right? He's got the
Right.
ringing in his ears
Keeps
that he's trying to drown
the
out.
ringing out. But in Shaun of the Dead, my favorite scene of that movie is when
me now.
yes, when John comes in, the bar owner as a zombie, they use the pool sticks, and Don't Stop Me Now by Queen is playing over the jukebox, and they're beating John to the beat of the song with the pool cues. When I first saw that, I thought it was so ingenious, right? And then they used little jokes. They're like, go kill the queen, right? They're in Britain, so that comment has
Kill the
some stick
queen!
there, right? Yeah. So, but that's why I love Edgar Wright so much as a musician. His movies always find some way to incorporate music. I can't really think of anything in Tucker and Dale that's really music centric, right?
Right,
No,
but
they
that's
don't
not
usually
really
use that
what
as a
that's not
plot
really what
element.
they're going for.
Yeah, music didn't stick out.
No,
to
I
me.
know. I was just I'm just trying to illustrate differences between these two movies because they're both similar and they're both dissimilar in the same time, right? They take a horror element, they make it funny. They have likable characters, they have non-likable characters, but the difference really is Shaun of the Dead uses music, uses some pretty interesting, I don't want to call it foreshadowing. Sam, you brought up that comment about the girl making out with her boyfriend, and later we see the girl eating her boyfriend.
Yep.
What would you call that? It's not foreshadowing.
I would call that dramatic irony.
Yeah. So they do that a few times, right? They talk about never leaving the front, or always leaving the front door open in the beginning of the movie, and then later in that same time the doors open, and that's how a zombie gets in. And it's quite a few scenes later.
Well, think
they
about in the first scene when Shaun is headed off to work, his routine. He sees the kid. He gives the homeless guy some change. He makes his way to work, and then the next day, when everything's zombified, he has the same routine. But we as the audience can see the difference, but he doesn't see the difference. He just thinks everything's
he's oblivious. Yeah, he goes and gets the milk and the cornetto from the corner store or whatever. So I don't know what that would be called, but Edgar Wright seems to do that a lot in his movies, where he's showing you something, and then later we're going to revisit that same exact thing, but in a different space. And I think there's an art form to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Edgar Wright's a fantastic director, man. He's of the two films, the one that I would say was better directed was Shaun of the Dead, but I still would say I liked Tucker and Dale better. But I can tell, as far as quality of film, that Shaun of the Dead is a very high quality, well directed, movie. You know what I mean? But
So let me ask you, since you're saying that, let me ask you something. How come every Edgar Wright movie that you've seen you don't like on your first viewing?
I think it's because it doesn't always sink in for me the first time. And I don't always dislike it on my first viewing. Usually on my first viewing, I'm just like, yeah, it was fine. That's usually how I feel. Like Scott Pilgrim, you rave about and think it's amazing. I've only seen it once, and still in my mind, it's just okay. Baby Driver, I was like, man, you guys overhyped this. It's not that great. But the second time I watched it, I was like, holy crap, this movie's awesome. Shaun of the Dead, I definitely liked it better this time. It's probably my second, maybe third time seeing it. I don't know why that is. I think there's something about his style that I like, but on a first viewing, for some reason, I don't. I don't know why.
Sam, why do you think that is?
Talented director.
Sam, could you explain why that's the case for Max?
No.
Get out of my sight.
Ooh, 200 degrees. That's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit.
Is that Sam saying he doesn't know?
I
Is
have
that
no
Sam's?
idea.
I do
I don't
think
know why Max.
No, I want to get your, because it's always so. Max and I have talked about this many times.
Here's what we're gonna do, Max. Why don't you lay back in your couch? And I'll get out my notepad, and we'll just freaking analyze you.
You said, I think the issues come
I
from
think
your
the
father.
problem is that you are in love with your mother. Are you having dreams about your mother?
No, I was gonna ask Tyler the same question, you jackass, but
Mr. Fahrenheit.
no, this is something that Max and I have talked about many times before, because I watch an Edgar Wright movie and I'm like, that was amazing, right? I'm finding all these little subtle things in the storytelling that he does, and I wanted to get an outside perspective, because I don't understand Max. I don't understand how he can't love these movies on first viewing, and then he watches them again and loves them. So I wanted to see what an outside perspective would say.
That
It's
really
attention
only
span.
Baby Driver.
It's just attention span. Max.
It's really
Max,
only Baby Driver.
He's like, okay,
Well,
I'm thinking about something else. I'm moving somewhere else.
You liked Shaun of Dead better in your second viewing, right?
Yeah, but only slightly. Like, I really liked it the first time I saw it.
Supersonic man
Okay,
out of
what-
you.
I think maybe
You really need to watch Scott Pilgrim again.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe Scott Pilgrim will show a trend. But so here's the thing with Baby Driver. I think what it comes down to is both you and Cameron at the time were just obsessed with it, and you were raving about it and calling it like the greatest movie ever. And so I think I went in with really high expectations, and they didn't meet them. It's the same thing that happened with Age of Ultron. Of course, Age of Ultron's a way worse movie than Baby Driver. But like, I went in with really high expectations and was very let down. And I think that's what happened. I also watched it at midnight until 2 a.m. So that's another part of it, is I was up late watching this movie, and I didn't have like the volume up because I didn't want to wake my wife. So I think it's a bunch of different things. The second time I watched it here in this office, volume cranking, and I was awake. It was like 7 o'clock at night or whatever. So I think that definitely changed my experience. So I think when we reviewed it, I think I gave it a 5. Like, I loved it on my second viewing. It was seriously such a good movie.
Well, I figured if we can get to the bottom of this, we can figure out why Tyler liked Stuber so much on his first viewing.
It's a really good movie.
You guys.
This was not a gigantic setup. It just popped in my head like 5 seconds ago. I was like, if I don't say this, I'm gonna burst.
Something just resonated with me with that movie.
It's all right. It's all right.
But I'm really interested in seeing Baby Driver now that you guys talk about it, because I wasn't really impressed with the trailers with that.
The trailers didn't do it justice, because I wasn't either.
Yeah,
I wasn't either.
Well, and you guys aren't the first ones. It's just something that I remember people saying, "Oh, that was actually a good movie," and I was like, "Really?" And then I've heard people say that since, but I am a lot more interested in going and watching that now. But I have seen small clips of what's that show called? His other one. The other one I have.
Scott Pilgrim?
Yeah. And man, I just have no interest in that movie.
Scott Pilgrim is fantastic, because they do a lot of, so Edgar Wright, you'll notice in all of his movies, he takes a real artistic approach, right? So with Scott Pilgrim, there's he uses the comic book element, because Scott Pilgrim is based on a comic. He uses the comic book element in a few scenes, like one where Michael Cera jumps out the window. Do you know what I'm talking about, Max?
No.
Knives comes to the door, and Macaulay Culkin's brother's standing there, and she asks for Scott, and it does like these like he jumps out the window and it shows like a bang or something like that, or whatever. He just has a real artistic approach. with his movies, and I think that's what I enjoy seeing, because with an Edgar Wright movie, it's not something that I've seen before, right?
Yeah.
It's not something that every other director's doing. You can watch these movies, like all these big blockbuster movies, and it seems like a lot of them are copying each other, right? Like with the way they shoot shots, and some of the story and everything like that. Like it all seems like they're copying each other. Edgar Wright's not copying anybody, and they're good. They're genuinely good movies. I'm surprised, Tyler, that you have no interest watching Scott Pilgrim, because it deals a lot with video games.
Yeah, I know, and I don't know, like the main character's personality just seems like one that bugs me, I guess, and I don't
Well,
know.
you should give the movie a shot. You really should, because if you like Shaun of the Dead, it's similar humor, it's similar creativity. Michael Cera's not an annoying dude. I don't care what anybody like. Superbad's one of my favorite movies. I think you would like it a lot, but it also, all the music was written by Beck. Do you guys know Beck? Fantastic
No.
guitar player, songwriter. Tyler, you are killing me, bro.
Futurama cameo.
I know
Tyler, have you heard of Cheese? Have you heard of The Air?
No, I was gonna say I know of Beck, but I'm so bad with artists, I wouldn't like pairing artists to music. I'm not good with that.
Beck is regarded as one of the greatest songwriters ever, and he's been doing it for decades. So he wrote all the music in this movie, and the music really sticks in the storytelling of that movie. But I went off on a tangent. I tend to do that sometimes. I apologize.
It's because
I am so passionate about some of these movies that I'm like, you haven't seen it, you suck, you need to see it, or we can't be friends.
Maybe we should analyze Lance's head. Maybe we should get inside Lance's head and see what is happening.
I am pretty simple, dude. I'm like, oh, bright lights, I love it.
I think we will find a vial full of pops.
Guys, I've been really good. I think in the last 3 weeks, I've only bought like 5 pops.
Congratulations, Lance.
Oh man. As it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, oh, that's not that good, is it?
It's all about your journey, Lance. Okay.
No, it's all about if my wife is gonna stick with me any more of this. All right, guys. Let's real quick. Let's give our. Yeah, how do you want to do this? Because we haven't done a comparison show in a while. Do you want to give the rating of one and the rating of other, and which one you liked more?
Yeah.
Okay, we will start with my man Tyler. Go for it.
I'd probably give them I really like both of them. I really like both the movies. I think I like Tucker and Dale just a little bit more. I don't know if I like it enough more to give it another half a star. So I think they're both pretty at 3.5 for me. If I had to give Tucker and Dale, I'd say maybe 3.75 for me. But
Sam, what about you?
So, I'm going to give Shaun of the Dead 200 degrees. That's why they call him Mr. Fahrenheit.
Oh, man. It's such a great song, dude.
I'm having a good time. Having a good time. No, Shaun of the Dead, I will give 3.
Sam, are you going to be on the Masked Singer? Masked
Singer? And I don't know
Masked
if I can
Singer.
say
It's a new sitcom hosted by me.
The Masked Singer. Come
Are
on,
we making fun of my
Max's
speech impediment now?
Yes, sir, always.
So no, I'm gonna say 3 couch cushions and a throw pillow for Shaun of the Dead, and 3 couch cushions and a throw pillow for Tucker and Dale. I thought both movies are about the same entertainment quality. The premise of Tucker and Dale I thought was more surprising. There was a lot of more interesting things going on with Tucker and Dale, but I didn't feel like the ending really stuck the landing. Whereas with Shaun of the Dead, it's kind of more of a slow burn, and then they hit the Queen scene, which is really fun. But the ending is a lot more satisfying. So I think they kind of balance each other out. Or they have strengths and weaknesses that compare very well against each other. So I give them the same rating.
And what song was that by Queen that they played?
Don't stop me now.
Don't stop me now.
Having a good time. Having a good time.
I feel like Sam's having a good time.
It's a great song. It's a great song.
I can never remember the words after that, though. And that's like, it gets real good after that.
Tonight I'm gonna have myself.
Well, no, I'm talking about the, like,
song,
I'm having a good time, having a good time.
I'm a rocket ship going up to Mars.
I
remember it like Lady Godiva.
I'm going to do the same with Sam and give them both the same score, but I'm going to do a slightly higher score. They're both 4s for me. I think both of them are great. They're super, super entertaining, and I will gladly watch both of them again. In fact, I very much am excited to watch them again. Not right away, but it might be a yearly Halloween thing for me to watch both of these. They're super, super good movies. I love them. They're freaking funny and entertaining as all get out. Tucker and Dale, Sam's dancing over there. Tucker and Dale is slightly better than me, but not enough to like get a better score. But Shaun of the Dead is also really good. So that's where I'm landing.
So I think it's unfair for me to give a rating to Shaun of the Dead because I pretty much said
it's
it.
Clearly a 5, duh.
It's 5. It's a 5 out of 5. It's my favorite movie. I bought it on DVD when it came out. Okay, then I lost my DVD. Bought it on Blu-ray.
Oh.
Lost my Blu-ray. Bought it again on Blu-ray. Lost that Blu-ray. I've lent it to people and they don't return it. I bought it. So I purchased this movie 4 times.
That's a 5-star.
Because I love this movie so much. So they've gotten more. And I saw it in theaters, I think, 5 times in theaters when it came out.
That's a 5-star for you, Lance.
Yeah, so it's a 5-star. Tucker and Dale, I think, is a 4.5. Maybe a. Let me think about this for a minute. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 because the ending with Tucker and Dale is just not that great. But
I think it's a good ending. I just think Shaun of the Dead's ending is better.
No, I really
love
didn't.
a fat guy ends up getting the girl and he's the hero. I forgot to mention that when I was doing my review. I love that it's a fat protagonist. You don't get that a lot, other than Fat Thor.
I like that, and that was great. But what I'm saying is the college boy, like how that whole the climax, how it ended. I didn't really care for it.
The reveal, the big reveal.
I like the big reveal.
I think for a movie that is,
guy.
I think for a movie that's just smart at one after another, it's just smartly written. Blah blah blah. The ending just didn't have the same gusto that the rest of the movie had. You know what I mean? It's definitely a decline. Shaun of the Dead is just an even pace. I mean,
sure,
takes a minute for it to ramp up, but I think that's what makes the middle so good with Shaun of the Dead, is how kind of slow the beginning is, right? But I'm gonna throw a curveball at you guys. Okay? Shaun of the Dead, real quick. Shaun of the Dead, British, zombie, rom-com or Zombieland, the American version of Shaun of the Dead.
Zombieland.
You like Zombieland better than Shaun of the Dead?
Yes.
You're so crazy. Tyler, what about you? Tyler's never seen Zombieland. Sam, what about you?
I give it to Shaun of the Dead.
Tyler?
Nothing against Woody Harrelson.
Right. I have seen Zombieland once a long time ago. It didn't quite have the same impact as Shaun of the Dead. I honestly don't remember a lot about it except for they kill Bill Murray.
See, that's the thing.
It was funny though.
No, that's the best part of the movie.
I just love Bill Murray. I didn't want him to die.
Oh, yeah. Worse because you don't want Bill Murray to die. It's the best part of the movie. So this is what I'll say. Shaun of the Dead is far more quotable, right? The lines in it, right? You remember more pieces of Shaun of the Dead, right? Or you got a bit of red on you, or or go to the Winchester. You know what I mean? Or he says,
Yeah.
cock-a-doodle-doo, or what?
You've seen it 400 times.
No, but they have 50 million. You can go look for T-shirts right now, and it's all these little quotes of Shaun of the Dead. You're not really going to see that with Zombieland. I mean, really, you think about it. There's the Bill Murray scene, and Tallahassee loves Twinkies. But there's really, and the rules, right? The rules was pretty pivotal. But I don't think it makes its impact like Shaun of the Dead.
Maybe
Yeah.
not, but I like it.
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead stuck with me a lot more. I can't say that I remember a lot about Zombieland, but just the fact that, that the scenes from Shaun of the Dead, I remembered it a lot more and made a lot bigger impact. So, I mean, just from that alone, I would say Shaun of the Dead.
Good. I didn't
Lance?
ask.
I'll stop saying I dislike Shaun of the Dead when you stop getting mad about it. You understand what I'm trying to quote there, right?
Yes, we got it. We got it. Max.
So
I don't know if Lance did.
I didn't want to make you guys go too in depth for Zombieland because I didn't ask you guys to watch that movie, but I watched Shaun of the Dead, then Tucker and Dale, then Zombieland, and Zombieland Double Tap. And guys, I got something pretty striking to say here.
Okay.
Double Tap is better than the original Zombieland. After watching both back to back, there's some pretty big eye-rolling moments in Zombieland 1. So I'm just going to leave that there.
I don't think
I'm
I've
just
seen
going to leave that there. The
How
ending,
dare you? How dare you, Lance?
The ending of Zombieland is not that good when they're on the ride, and that whole scene where they're shooting zombies from below and zombies. It's just not that good in my opinion. But
how dare you?
We could talk more about that later. All right, guys. So this is a pre-recorded episode. It is going to you are watching it now on Halloween or after, but we want to make sure you guys have the best Halloween possible. Especially,
make sure you check your kids' candy because I found a machete in a fun-size Butterfingers. Be very careful.
I'm not even mad. I'm just depressed.
I'm just going to be checking my kids' candy for the Rona, okay? That's what I'm going to be like there with the...
Make sure you run all your kids' candy through a UV lamp to kill any Rona that may be hanging around.
So with the pandemic that we're in and everything, we just want everybody to be safe, everybody to have fun, but just remember to come here every Saturday night and to Triple D Dodgeball on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, your mom's house. And until then, keep on geeking on.